4 secrets to help you lose the weight and keep it off from a mother-daughter who have lost over 240 pounds combined. We noticed that 96.9% of you guys are not subscribed and 3.2% are. So to the 3.2% that are, we love you.
For the 96.9% of you who are unsubscribed, we would love it if you would join us in this very, very meaningful conversation. That is our mission and our life's work. The first secret we'd like to share with you is about eating fiber. And I know you've been hearing this for decades, how important fiber is, but come to find out, not all fiber is created equally, and you need a variety of fiber. So what is fiber? Fiber is what's found in fruits and vegetables. And the fiber from a squash is different than the fiber from a pear. And all of these different fibers go into the rebuilding of your gut microbiome. And they help to renew and reset your gut microbiome, which helps to increase your immune system. It helps to increase your brain function. It helps to reduce anxiety and depression. And it completely rebuilds your body. So eating a variety of fiber has been one of the secrets that Penelope and I have used, the strategic use of fiber in our diets and in our lives.
The second secret sounds simple, and it's something everyone tells you. They say, get 8 to 9 hours of sleep, or maybe they say get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And that's great advice, but how do you implement that into your life? Maybe it's really hard because you have kids. Maybe it's really hard because you're busy and you don't know how to go to sleep. First of all, drinking teas is really helpful. They have sleepy teas, like, what is it, chamomile, is that one?
Chamomile, and there are several. But I think having a bedtime ritual is important. I think what I find for myself as a busy single mom and an entrepreneur, I'm busy and I'm like slammed all day, and then it's like all of a sudden, oh, it's time for bed. And there has to be that window of rest, like relaxation, downtime, that's still waking time, but downtime that's also restorative. So a lot of women I know just go ahead and drink the wine and watch the Netflix, and I would say that that's one option, but to me that's more of an escapism. I think having that little bit of downtime before bed is really important, whether it's a sauna blanket or some deep breath work or maybe reading or whatever it is for you that's a little bit of like me time. It's really important to try
off the screens too. Off the screens.
And ideally off the screens.
Ideally.
I mean, come on.
But one more thing I wanted to add on that as a secret. The reason it's a secret, I mean, people say it all the time. One of the reasons I think it's a secret is because if you can get to bed early and wake up early, it sets you up for the next point, which is strategic movement, but it also sets you up for the ability to lose weight, because you need to sleep to lose weight, because that's when you lose some weight, actually.
I know, it's so counterintuitive, but it's true. If you're not sleeping, your weight loss is being sabotaged, and that's a fact.
And I think I read something that you get like hungrier when you haven't slept as well.
It messes you up. I mean, you and I sometimes have sleepless nights, and we're just like so messed up.
And then we come the next day, and we're like, we didn't sleep well. And we both tell each other, and we're kind of like,
oh no, yeah, everything's compromised. Everything is compromised. So sleep, we can't, it's actually a really big problem.
Did you sleep well last night?
I did.
That's good.
I slept really well.
Me too.
I'm really catching up because last week I didn't sleep as well. And it's a mystery. Why didn't you sleep well? Did you not exercise? No, it's true. It's like,
what did you eat?
You live your day for good sleep. Like, did you have caffeine too late in the day? Did you have an upset, in the afternoon that didn't get resolved? Like, there's so many components to why people sleep well or they don't. It could also be the weight. I remember you used to snore really loudly, and we were really clear you were not getting good quality sleep when you were 320 pounds. You said you felt like you were being suffocated by the excess weight. And imagine but busty women also feel that way. When they got all the extra weight, you really can't sleep well. You are literally being suffocated.
Yeah, I also used to wake up in the middle of the night and hit my vape, so that probably wasn't helping my lungs.
Right, well, vaping and tobacco use can also be a huge issue when your body wakes you up and says, hey, I need more of fill in the blank. So you said strategic movement is number 3. And of course, it's obvious, right? Sleep well, eat well, move well. You're gonna lose weight and keep the weight off. But believe it or not, those last 30 pounds can be tricky. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You can't just do the same ab workout every day. You have to change it again and again and again and again. And we have to sometimes work through periods where we're strategically aligning movement with our lifestyle. Moving after meals, for example, or exercising in the morning and in the evening. Changing it up between anaerobic and aerobic. So like really intense exercise where you feel like your heart is gonna pop out of your chest, and also that more leisurely just walking. Right? So there's all these different types of movement that are important. Now, one of the ways you and I use movement is to help us regulate our emotions. Because before we knew how to regulate our emotions, because who taught you, by the way, you have to figure it out. Like, how do you move your emotions? So we use exercise for that as well. And I think combined, kind of going back to point number one, is we had to learn how to make healthy food taste great. That's a huge secret. That we actually now would rather eat our own food than go to the restaurant. And that's the point we've gotten to. And you just start with mastering 4 recipes that you love, and then you build on that. And we teach you all about that in our program.
I feel like that's something that people really underestimate, is like making your own food at home and how impactful that can be for your health and weight loss and keeping the weight off, because you can control how much oil you put in and how, like, we don't even think about it, but like oil, when you go to restaurants, they use bad oils and too much oil.
And salt, like really bad salt, also sugar. Yeah, you gotta take control of your diet, and you gotta bring it back into the kitchen. And so if you're eating more than 50% of your food outside of your kitchen, you're putting your health at risk. And I say that, and you might think, well, I'm overstating it, but I'm not. Because you're putting your health in the hands of a business. And a business's bottom line is not really gonna have your health as their first priority. Their profit is their priority, and that's okay. But knowing that, you've gotta take steps to really get a hypervigilance around your fat, your salt, your sugar, and the sourcing of the ingredients in that food.
And the fact to back you up, Mom, is, or a study to back you up rather, is that at the NIH, there is a researcher or a study that was done on people who ate processed foods for 2 weeks. The National Institute of Health, they were locked at the NIH for 2 weeks. And one person had a diet of whole foods. So just like whole cooked foods, like, you know, from a chef. And then one had processed box foods like mac and cheese with bacon and like just bad stuff. And the study showed that at the end of those 2 weeks, the group who ate whole foods lost the weight, and the group who ate processed foods gained the weight and ate more in result of the processed foods because their bodies wanted more of the nutrition that they weren't getting.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I'm so glad there's a study. There's even that movie called Super Size Me that was just fascinating to see the metrics at the doctor's office in the impact of eating processed food and fast food, in this case, ultra processed food, and its effect in just a short period of time on your triglyceride levels, your probability for developing diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. It's really shocking. So it's time to get real, folks, and get back in your kitchen and learn how to cook, because who taught you? Your parents probably were too busy. Your doctor certainly doesn't have time. It's not in his business model. And at school, well, home economics is considered sexist now. So what are you gonna do? You gotta learn it today.
And the 4th secret that we like to really live by.
Oh boy.
This is a really ugly mug today. Usually I have much cuter ones, but they were all in the dishwasher, which I only did the dishes after I got this mug out. So just ignore the ugly mug. It actually says, "Beneath this grumpy exterior beats the heart of a dashing hero," which is definitely not my mug, but it's fine.
Somebody else's nozzled.
Wink, wink. Our 4th secret is water and tea. So first of all, it's kind of ugly, but I always carry this around.
That's a lot smaller than the one she had a year ago.
I drink this every morning when I wake up, and I actually just recently made a video about what I eat a day and stuff like that for keeping the weight off. Water is a big one, and tea. We drink so much tea. We drink tea all day long because it helps us suppress our appetite. It helps us not snack like a crazy person, because food's delicious. Let's just be honest. And if I have a bag of chips in front of me, I'm probably gonna want to eat it, or even nuts or whatever. Like, it's just, if it's there, I'm gonna want to eat it. But if I have a cup of tea, I'm gonna drink that cup of tea and I'm gonna feel full. It gives me this full feeling. And just liquids in general, waters, you know, sparkling water. When I was 3 to 20 pounds, I drink tons of sparkling water. So getting the fluids in, however you have to get them in, as long as it's not Diet Coke or aspartame filled junk. That's just something to be aware of, but you know, anyway. Yeah, just drink as much water and tea as you possibly can because that really helps keep the weight off.
Absolutely. There's this great book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And it outlines in detail, it's not a very big book, but it outlines in detail all of the conditions that we develop from chronic dehydration. I believe that you were chronically dehydrated at school because they just got tired of the kids needing to excuse themselves to go to the bathroom because God knows what they're doing in the bathroom.
Vaping.
But it's really important. And I noticed that you were chronically dehydrated, and I'm sure your kids are chronically dehydrated. It's a problem for brain function. It's a problem for weight loss because you got to sweat it out, poo it out, or pee it out. Honestly, I mean, there is also the law of thermodynamics and you are just using energy. But in essence, we have to look at our detoxification pathways on how it's getting out of us. And oftentimes we mistaken hunger for thirst.
A lot.
And I've been studying and consuming information about optimal health for over 30 years, voraciously. I'm super passionate about it. And the more I learn about health, the more I realize how important herbs are. And when we can drink tea, and also Dr. Greger talks about this, how important tea is in every culture, because I studied nourishing traditions and how every culture that I could study in person healed their families, the grandmothers to the grandchildren. They would gather local herbs from the mountains and they'd put them together and steep them in a tea. So we're always looking to optimize our health. Weight loss is definitely important, but in a way, it's a side effect of really just renewing your body, detoxifying the body from all the chemicals in the environment. And I think, Penelope, the more weight we lost, the more we were able to unveil a new awareness in our minds and in our bodies. And now it's become this quest for, wow, I have so much energy. Wow, I feel so great when I wake up in the morning. Wow, I have the freedom to climb any mountain that I choose. I have the freedom and energy and vitality that I need to do all the things I want to do. And there's no price tag on that because you can't buy it, but you can create it by learning how to strategically use nature to renew your vitality, to renew your bodies, and to renew your hearts and your minds. And that's what we do at Step It Up. Penelope and I developed this system when she was 11 years old. It's been a huge journey, one of a lot of suicidal ideations and anxiety and hopelessness. And we really understand the complexity of weight loss. I grew up in an eating disordered household, and I really understand it from a compulsive eating disordered perspective, from Overeaters Anonymous perspective, from all the diets that we've tried perspective. And we know that diets don't work, but we do know that living a life that you love and that you feel inspired to live with delicious foods and healthy movement is really the key to transforming your health once and for all, to never diet again. So we'd love to hear from you. Please do comment below. We'd love to know how you are losing the weight and keeping it off, or what you're struggling with on your journey to losing the weight and keeping it off, because goodness knows we have had plenty of plateaus and we've had to break through them. And that's what we do at Step It Up. We're here to support you in breaking through. Please like, share, and subscribe. We noticed that over 90% of you are not subscribed, but you're watching. And we'd love it and appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. We are looking for 12 women who would like to join us on a journey of transformation. If that's you, be sure to click the link in the description so that we can connect with you and learn more about your journey and how we might support you.